Good morning. Greetings, beloved. This is Tony. Just want to show you a little something. Since I was a child, I'd always wondered about this Uncle Sam character. You know, and one of the questions was, Uncle Sam is the brother of even the so-called mother or father to be an uncle. And this morning I was reading something, and it sort of struck me, this word. And the word was samsara. Samsara. And I sort of looked up the meaning of samsara, and it's reincarnation. It's a repeating cycle of life and death. And it sort of made sense that materiel, so Uncle Sam is the brother of materiel. So let me see if I can sort of show you this a little more. Alright, so I'm showing you here this inverted star. And this star is somewhat symbolic of the foundations of the earth. It's material. Alright, and now I want to take you back to Uncle Samsara. And I want you to see the star on the top of his hat here, which is the opposite star. And there are 33 degrees between the first star, the foundations of the earth, so to speak, materiel, and then the star on Sam's hat here, which represents the soul star. Okay, and then he, as samsara, represents reincarnation, being born and dying, and being born and dying and trapped, and back in what I'd call the cube, the limited system there, the bounding. And you see, but in the sacred geometry, these stars are there. There are 3 of the materiel, 3 of the samsara, and then there is the 7th star, which is this one here. And this one here is when the 2 become 1. And it's the understanding of being released from karma, out of samsara, coming out of that wheel, that so-called roller coaster, riding it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm going to add in here, several years ago, 8-9 years ago, I had a dream. My dreams are very real, and somehow I was with a bunch of young people, and this young girl had seen me do something for this older woman in a wheelchair, and she came up to me and she was screaming and hollering, I had magic. She's like, you got magic, you got magic. And I'm like, no, it's not magic, it's not magic. No, I don't have magic. And she got on her phone and started calling all these young kids. And all of them started piling around me because she had told them that I had magic. And I was telling them, no, it's not magic. It's imagination. And when I said that, it was like, I don't know, a beam of light shot out. And they all sort of just kind of went unconscious for a moment. And these men in black and white came. I mean, think of your normal black and white suits. They came and they took me and all the young people, and they took us to like a circus, and they put each one of us like on a different ride. And I was on this roller coaster, and I would ride the roller coaster around. I'd go through a loop, it'd circle back around, it would start over. I'd go back through the loop, it'd go around, it'd start over. And I was so bored with this ride. And when I went through the loop, I decided I'm bored. I'm going to loop-de-loop here. And I was going to go through the loop a second time. And I made the roller coaster go through the loop. And when I did, a ticket booth, the door flew open. And a man come running out in black and white. And he was putting his little coat on, you know, and he was screaming and hollered at me to stop doing what I was doing. Okay, so he was screaming at me to stop it. Stop doing that. Because I had made the roller coaster go through the loop twice. Well, he took me off the ride. He took me into like an interrogation room. And he was screaming and hollering at me to not do that ever again, to stop that. And I'm like, well, why? If I can do that, what's the problem? And he's screaming and hollering that, and I could tell he was more afraid of me than I was of him. And he wanted me not to do it again. And he said, we don't want people to know that they can do that. And I'm like, well, why? What's the problem with people if they want to do that? Why do you not want them to do that? And he looked at me and he said, not everyone is human. Some people are human, some are alien. And I kind of thought for a moment, and I'm like, well, what do you mean some people are human and some people are alien? Which one am I? And then the dream ended. I kind of woke up and I'm thinking, okay, oh wow, how did it ended like that? But he was frightened of me because I could do it. And they did not want me to do these things. And they didn't want other people to know that they could do it. And it's really funny because that idea of that black and white, you see, in that reality, that cube of the black and white, that's what it is. It's a limited belief system. And it binds people. And they don't want you to reach like a certain level. They don't want you to ever get out of their authority, that black and white mentality. And in a weird way, he couldn't do it. And that's what he was frightened of. He couldn't do it, and he never wanted me or anyone else to learn that we could do it. And it's like they needed the people that could do it, they needed them more than the people could do it needed the men in black and white.
And I take talk and set a mind.